for a loss of 9. And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19. Now a first carry for Lamar Miller. And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. It'll be a pickup of 12 yards. And all of a sudden here, it's 3rd down.
It seemed like the situation was 2nd and a mile to go for a first down, which screams what? Throw the football. You got to pass in order to try and pick up that kind of yardage. But in this case, they ran a tendency breaker because the tendency is for defenses to be out there and be set up for a pass. So you break tendency and actually run the football.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Linval Joseph coming in to drop him for a loss of 8, and it'll be 4th down. On 4th down, here's Justin Vogel on to punt it away.
Lucky 56.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. Looking for his running back, and he's got it. And they finally get him, but not before he reaches the 33-yard line. It's a big one there for the Vikings. 42 yards. So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. The first carry now for Dalvin Cook. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. It'll wind up being a loss of 2. And it'll be 2nd and 12.
Detroit!
Now Allen. And he's going to go down. The Texans come at him and able to bring him to the ground. J.J. Watt. He's the one that got to him. He takes him down for a loss of 9. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down went backwards. It's 3rd and very long.
Detroit!
From the gun, it's Allen. A loss of 8 on the play, and it brings up 4th. So on 4th down, here's Ryan Quigley now to kick this one away. Back deep for the Texans, Will Fuller. They only punted twice in the win last week as he gets this one away. And here comes the Texans now. They're going to have to go at least 50, 60 yards here if they want to ensure that they don't have to punt the ball like they did last time.
Yeah, so what you're saying is we're not playing to just get out of the shadow of your own goal line, right? You're playing to make sure the punter doesn't see the field again. So it's not picking up a couple of first downs. You want to pick up 5 or 6 first downs and make sure you move the ball into their territory.
And he will take this up to about the 8-yard line. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
Come back, come back. Tiger.
On second down, here's Miller. And they'll bring him down here right around the 17-yard line. It goes as a gain of 8, and it moves the chains.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
A first down carry now for Miller. And a short pickup there as he'll take this up to right around the 20. Eric Kendricks in on the tackle.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
And now some motion before the snap. And this will be our first penalty of the night's proceedings. And that false start penalty certainly not helping their cause here. Second down and long. After the penalty, it's Miller. And a short gain across the 15 to the 17-yard line. Tackle made by Everson Griffin.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
The threat of a second straight punt to start the game is looming as they come up 3rd and 10. Throwing on 3rd down, Watson. Steps away to his left. Underneath for Miller. And he'll get it up here this time to the 21. It'll be a gain of 4. And that'll bring up 4th down.
Well, the good thing about covering any game I do with you is I know that there's no problem with rhythm. Now, what we're watching offensively, a little bit of a problem there.
Yeah, punt on the first drive, looking at another one here. Just a little slow. You know, they were talking about a fast start, but that hasn't been the case.
Yeah, and let's face it, any team we cover always talks about a fast start.
That's true.
But it's not necessarily going to happen just because they say so. And whether it's the script, whether it's, you know, just what they're going through, whether they're seeing different defenses, they're going to have to figure it out as this game moves on.
Watch him now, Barney.
Here's Allen on 1st and 10. And the defense has it covered. It's intercepted. Picked off by Andre Howe. And put it on the board. It's 6, a touchdown. Well, we know this defense has athleticism. Spots like that prove us right.
I love the way that you spotlighted the athleticism because you and I both know the best athletes on the field, they play on defense.
Oh, I don't know. I was a kicker. You got to remember that now.
Come on, come on.
Fine. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. Now the Minnesota offense set to take over again. And this is a unit that, to be frank, doesn't look like they've woken up yet. I mean, a punt and a turnover on their first 2 drives.
And I think the game's starting to take shape a little bit now. And I'm going to take it into the basketball world. When you're having trouble scoring or moving the ball in basketball, what do? Get it to their best player, right? Find a matchup, create it, exploit it, and try and move the football.
Now Allen to try again after the pick 6. He's got it complete to Stephon Diggs. And they're able to get this one across the 35. This drive starting off on the right foot, 18 yards.
Partner, this is one of the best routes anyone can have in their offensive playbook. Tough to defend because you think it's a go route, and then he breaks it back on the comeback. There's one other thing you need as well.
A well-thrown ball.
Exactly right. Got a guy that has some precision in throwing the football because of the timing of the route.
It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down. We've become so accustomed to it, you sort of take it for granted.
You really do, but he is so good that every team in his division, every year, is trying to make sure they draft people charged with trying to block J.J. Watt. So far, hasn't been too successful.
To the air, Allen buying time to his left. Back now with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Second quarter begins with the Vikings holding the football, and they've got it here with a first down. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another first and 10.
Detroit! All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
Throwing on first down is Allen. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. Those passes out that far wide always make you hold your breath a little bit. Felt like it was in the air for a while.
What it does is it allows a defender to gain some ground, come from a long distance, and have a chance to affect the pass.
After the incomplete pass, here now is second and 10.
Detroit! Detroit! Watch it now, Barney! Barney!
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he goes across midfield and down into Houston territory. They get 6 here after the incompletion, and it'll leave them with a 3rd and 4.
Frustrating for a defense, energizing for an offense. Finding a way to create that type of yardage in your running game, that'll make the guys carrying the ball very, very happy.
And defensively going with a dime set. 6 DBs on 3rd and 4. Here's Allen. Flushed out right. Now he's going to throw it back deep. He's got it at the 15. That one will go down as 33 yards on the 3rd down conversion.
In our pregame meeting, all they talked about was keeping him hemmed in and wanting him to make his throws from the pocket because they knew he was pretty dangerous if he got outside, and he just showed it right there. Pretty good arm, too.
First down, here's the run with Cook. And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. A great effort there. His 4th touchdown on the year. And the Vikings are an extra point away from tying this thing up. And he's got it up and through. So we're right back where we started. All even as the kick's away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he's able to get it across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down at the 21-yard line. Now the Texans offense, they head back out to do battle here. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on 3rd down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a first down and change our momentum?
Come back, come back.
On first down, it's Watson. Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down. Daniil Hunter able to get in there and drop him for a 2-yard loss. Now following the sack, they'll come up here on a 2nd down and 12. Watson hands to Miller on the draw. And he finds some space past the 25 to the 27. That's what they needed. It's an 8-yard gain, and now 3rd and 4 suddenly doesn't look so bad.
Come back, come back. Tiger, tiger, tiger.
From the gun on third, Watson dumps it complete to Miller. And this one will go to the 28-yard line. They'll give him a yard on the play, and it'll be fourth down. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high-percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the first down. In this case, it didn't happen.
And the Vikings now heading on to the field. Last time they were out here, they had the benefit of good field position, led to a touchdown. This time, they're going to have to work for it.
They are, but with that last drive that culminated in a touchdown, I think they carry that confidence into this one. Doesn't matter where you start with the football now, they have to feel great about their opportunity.
Hurry up, here we go. Blue 90. Blue 90. Gun, gun. Gun, gun. Hot. Hot.
Allen now on first down. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like
now,
I-4 at rush hour in your hometown
56.
of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess.
Hey, we got four down. Hot. Detroit. Detroit. Gun, gun. Gun, gun. Hot.
Back to the air on second down. It's Allen. He rifles one that's intercepted. Xavier Rhodes with a pick. And they will score a pick six for the Texans TD. Making back-to-back weeks now with a pick six for him. He had one a week ago.
Talk about being in the groove, and what are the odds of what we're seeing right here? You don't see it happen very often. Listen, if you get a pick six in a season, it's been a big year, let alone back-to-back weeks. Tell you this, I wouldn't play cards against this guy in the locker room.
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six, and now the kick is away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And the decision to come out is going to cost him 5 as he's taken down right at the 20. And now out comes Minnesota.
Watch him now, Barney. Hot.
They start the drive with Cook. And he's going to lose yardage here. Back to his own 18. The loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
The best play callers in any league know how to break their tendencies. They study themselves, they self-scout, and they realize most of the time you don't call a draw play on 1st and 10. So every so often you insert that play just to make the defense think, even if it's not successful.
Allen looks to throw on second down. And he's taken down. Back at his own 7. Chris Jones coming up the middle, gets him there for a loss of about 9. After the sack, they'll come up now 3rd and long.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them run the ball here just to try and get some space.
Watch him now, Barney.
And indeed, that's what they'll do as they run it here. And oh, he spins past him and into space. And able to get it here to about the 16-yard line. He's able to chew up 8 yards on the carry there, but still 4th down upcoming.
Well, they got off the field on 3rd down. An excellent job, an excellent defensive series. We always talk about adjustments and usually only at halftime. But the best teams adjust series to series. And on that series, they adjusted so well that they got the job done in fine style.
A minute 58 to go in this first half of play. More from Minneapolis after this. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. lose yardage on the play back at the 37-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
Well, that's the big drawback to this play. Even if somehow the quarterback pitches it, he's not immune to the big hit. In this case, he kept it and absorbed it anyway.
He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. And now the Vikings are going to stop it here on defense with a timeout, as they'll talk it over here before what'll be an important third down.
Richmond. Come back.
After the run, Watson going to throw. That escapes the sand, but he can't get away forever, and down he goes. And another timeout called by the Vikings now, as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. The Texans send the punter out. He's been terrific so far. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. This is taken at about the 14. A great return there, bobbing and weaving his way for 31 yards. And the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10. Now the Vikings offense gets set to take over here. They were forced to punt last time, and I doubt sincerely that they'll have to punt here because they're gifted with terrific field position.
I don't even want to think about the idea that they would end up punting starting with this type of field position. Neither do they. Great starting spot, great opportunity to run your full playbook. They want to take a shot here, they can go ahead and do it.
And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. Right off the bat, it's a first down to start the drive, 12 yards.
Exactly what they needed right there, because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off, because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
Leopard! Gun!
On first down, Allen. Open here, Adam Thielen. And a nice gain of 21 yards. And that's one of his advantages of a passer, is it not? With his height, setting back there in the pocket, firing it over the middle, he can really see everything clearly.
It is, and I know that other quarterbacks get it done different ways, all right? You don't have to be his height to make a great play. But what he does is he takes away having to make those slide steps in the pocket to find angles to throw the ball through. He just throws right over the top of it because he can see everything, and sometimes that saves time and gets the ball to a receiver quicker.
First down, and they're going to throw with Allen. And that will be incomplete. 4 ticks left here on the clock. So with 4 seconds to go in the half, here's the field goal unit onto the field. And this a 39-yard attempt. The kick by Carlson is good. So we have reached halftime here. It's the visitors, the Texans, out in front, as we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach. Here's Hopkins now out to kick it away. This will be taken short. Out come the Vikings. They'll have it first on offense as we begin the third. They're down here, but very much in this game. What's the tonality of a coach's talk when a game is within striking distance like this at intermission?
Typically, what they're doing is emphasizing the things that went well in the first half and wanting more of that. Sure, you've got to go over some of the errors and clean up some things because there's a reason you're down. But overall, I think they want to stay positive, stay up with this team. We're just starting the second half, and we've got the football. Let's go ahead and punch it in, and then we'll take it from there.
See how that recipe works. Again, it's Cook. No gain on the play, and it's going to bring up a third down. So they go out of the gun, try to delay it on the draw, but nothing there.
Yeah, good play by the defense there. They sniffed it out and made sure there were no gaps for him to run. If you're the offense, though, you have to think to yourself, maybe I go play action down the road.
Watch him now, Barney, Barney. Check 50, check 50. Hot! Hot!
Throwing is Allen on third. And he's able to find Diggs. 14 yards that time for number 14.
And another thing that makes a comeback route really effective is that oftentimes after you've made the initial move, receivers breaking away from the defensive back, and that makes it a really tough play to defend. A nice chunk of yardage picked up there.
Detroit! Detroit! Over!
They'll run it now out of the gun. And very little daylight there. He'll get a couple up to the 44.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. No. Check. Patriot. Over.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get this out past the 45 to the 47. It's a 4-yard pickup there, and it leaves him with 3rd and 5.
I have to think a major focus of the halftime meetings had to be figuring out how to create space for the running game to get operating.
Well, what you pointed out to me at half seems accurate. That line has struggled to sustain blocks.
Yeah, I would agree with that totally. They've got to focus on staying on their double teams at the first level, make sure that block's secured before they slide off and try and chip someone at the second level.
Allen from the gun on 3rd down. Going deep for Diggs. And this is, oh my goodness, he pulled it in one-handed. And he takes it down deep into enemy territory. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Watch it now, Barney.
They'll run with Cook. And he will take this one into the end zone for a Viking touchdown. A great play there with his 2nd touchdown of the game and 5th on the year. And the Vikings are able to strike for 6. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And it's now 17-14. Carlson now to kick this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. Here's the Texans offense now, readying for their first possession of the second half. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said,
blitz coming, and down he goes.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing 2nd and a bundle. A shotgun snap for Watson. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete. The pressure really ratcheting up. They get the sack on 1st down, then a near sack. They got to him there just as it was leaving his hand.
Yeah, they might need to change their pass protection scheme a little bit. Maybe bring another guy into the backfield to help protect the quarterback because that was awfully close.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. The Texans on third down. Not good. 0 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 17. From the gun, here's Watson. Going up top. And incomplete. He can't hang on. Would have been a nice catch. Instead, it brings up a 4th down. Well, this secondary has done such a good job of frustrating these receivers tonight. Another example right there on the deep ball.
Sometimes when the sun goes down and it's just the bright lights in the stadium, there's a little extra spring in their step, doesn't it? And that's what we're seeing from the defenders. Doesn't matter if it's man or zone, deep ball, short ball. And that was a deep one there. They're making plays on the football, contesting everything.
The Vikings offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments, and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away.
And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Now let's go. 3-19. 3-19. Gone, gone. Gone, gone.
Now Allen throwing on 2nd down. And that's incomplete.
That one didn't quite make it to the target, but that's not always a function of the strength of the arm of the quarterback, is it? Sometimes there's just too much pressure there. In any case, the ball doesn't arrive.
The Vikings on 3rd down. They've converted 3 out of 5 thus far.
Right,
this is 3rd and 4.
Lucky 56.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 45-yard line. That'll make it 4th down after a loss of 1.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
And he works it across the 25 before being tackled. An excellent way to start the drive there, 18 yards.
Well, how many times do we say in this game that speed kills, and it does it in so many different ways? In this case, you got a back who's quick and shifty, can make moves, make people miss, but also gets to and through a hole before it can close down. That's some of the benefits of that speed, not just outrunning people in the secondary, and that led to a really nice gain.
That's good for a Texan first down, a 12-yard pickup.
That's another nice run, and I have to tell you, some of the coaches that I played for, their philosophies were always different when they see a guy running the ball well. Some of them wanted to immediately go to play action and throw it now because it's wide open. While other coaches said, you know something? Until they stop him, that big boy's going to keep getting the football. And that might be the direction that they're going to go right now.
Watson going to give this one to Miller. And he's going to be stopped up quickly here. Just a yard up to the 39.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Watson now going to run the option right and avoids the contact by sliding. It's going to be a gain of 6 on the keeper, but it leads to a 3rd down.
Oh, man, that wasn't far from breaking in a big way into the secondary. Read option, quarterback kept it, and while he didn't get a first down, he did get a nice chunk of yardage. Only a nice tackle prevented it from maybe going all the way.
From the gun on third down, Watson. Right side, that's complete to Gronkowski. And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. One score down. Here we go. They're going to go for it here on fourth down. They'll run. It's Miller. He's got a first down and then some inside the 40. Lamar Miller. Touchdown, Houston. Lamar Miller, his 6th touchdown of the season. And the Texans have taken the lead here in the fourth quarter. And on that long run, maybe the defense caught napping a little bit.
The concentration level may not have been there. I agree with you on that one, because those types of plays, when they result like that, they're almost like big bolts of lightning, aren't they? Whoosh, and off he goes.
This will be taken very short. Now the Vikings offense works their way back onto the field. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
Watch it now, Barney! Barney!
And here's Allen on 1st and 10. Left side caught by Diggs. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. He got 29 yards that time. So a 1st and 10 now in Houston territory at the 44-yard line.
Detroit! Detroit! Over! Back 99 Philly, here we go! Over!
They'll run it now out of the gun. He finds some open field here. And he's going to be stopped at about the 37. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
Watch it now, Barney! Barney!
29 is the Mike. Mike 29. Check.
Gun!
Mike 29.
On 2nd down, here's Allen. Looking left side, and he's got him in. It's Hodges. And he works it past the 30, almost to the 25. First target, first catch, and a first down. This quarterback now, 5 straight completions here in this second half. 1st and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And they take him down, losing yardage back at the 27. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
Oh, partner, that play brought back memories. Watching them string it out, letting the runner get all the way to the sideline area, but not letting him get out of bounds. They formed that picket fence and didn't allow him through.
Not only that, got him for a loss as well here. And one of the reasons they lead in the fourth quarter, plays like that.
Yeah, took a little more time off the clock, making him do it that way, didn't it?
And only a yard this time as he's taken down right around the 26.
This is what happens sometimes when you abandon the running game. It's hard to get back to it because once guys get out of that mentality of firing out and hitting people, hard to get them started again occasionally.
Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. On the move to his left. Hard throw, incomplete.
Had the right idea there, trying to throw it to the sideline, but he led him just a little bit too much, trying to get it out to his receiver. Ends up falling to the ground, incomplete.
Carlson able to put this one through. And that'll bring him back within a point. So with that field goal, this one's now back within a field goal. Maybe not the ultimate result they wanted, but gets them that much closer.
This game is unfolding like a really good book, isn't it? Because I feel like there's a few more plot twists yet to be revealed.
Now a hit and a loose football. Some pretty good games all weekend. We may have saved the best for last. This Monday night game has been a dandy. They go play action here on 1st down. The Vikings after it, and they get there for the sack. Eric Armstead in there to get him the 6th time they've sacked him tonight. After the sack, here's 2nd and 11.
Back 22! Back 22!
They'll try and run some clock here with Miller. And he'll be taken down right around the 27. The tackle goes to Harrison Smith. After that run, still a good amount of meat on the bone here for this 3rd down play. Can you envision them putting this in the air?
Totally. I mean, look at who he has under center right now. If you can't trust him with the football, you can't trust anyone. And frankly, to me, I want the ball down the stretch. Get the 1st down, keep it in the hands of my offense. I don't want to turn it over to them and rely on my D.
One of the bigger plays in the game thus far, and the crowd getting into it as we come up on a big 3rd down. Time for a break. We'll come back, see what transpires after this. Now this is a big 3rd down, and you'd have to think we'd see a timeout right away if they can't stop him here.
Come back, come back!
To throw is Watson on 3rd down. Oh, incomplete. Nearly the pick they needed. They would have loved one there, but at least it does get them to 4th down.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
He's averaging just under 50 yards a punt as he gets this away. And out now come the Vikings. And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it. Way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you met fan bases that wanted that. They weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive down with a kick other than the extra point. That's it.
He's back to throw. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. Jadeveon Clowney in there to take him down, and the clock will roll.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. Watch it now, Barney. Barney.
Back to throw. And he can't get a throw away. He's taken down. Jadeveon Clowney in there to get him for his second sack of the night.
So, Brandon, we sat in with a lot of coaches, and when they talk about things they want to accomplish offensively, I'm not sure that sack and sack are on their play sheet.
Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after first and second down went backwards. It's third and very long.
39. All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky.
They'll look to throw. And, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked off at the 21. And this results in 6. Touchdown. And so much for the game-winning 2-minute drive. I think that interception return there pretty much seals the deal.
And one thing to keep in mind, in this situation with the score that close, defense isn't backing off and just giving you easy throws. They're playing aggressively as well and end up picking that one off and sealing the deal for themselves.
Extra point good by Hopkins. And that will ensure that it will take a touchdown and a 2-point conversion to tie it. This will be taken short. The Vikings offense now heading out to take over. They're down here in a one-score game, but the time, it's a factor, but it's not a huge factor right now, is it?
It's really not, because this amount of time gives them a chance to run their offense, to go through play sequences. And this is what they work on every week in practice, usually on a Friday. They go over this type of a situation, late-game situation. What are we going to do when we have the opportunity? They've called these plays a bunch of times. Now's their chance to execute them.
They have the opportunity now. Here's the execution. He's going to let it fly. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete. These are the spots, this stage of the game, where it pays to have speed on the perimeter, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and in the second quarter, he may very well run by him, but in this situation, I know as a defender, I'm loosening up a couple of extra steps that allowed him to run with him stride for stride.
Hurry up, here we go. Green 39. Green 39.
He'll look to throw. Flush to his right. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete. Tried to go for the big one there on second down. Now they're likely down to their final 2 plays.
And you know they've got to keep going for the big shot, right? So defensively, you play what they call top down. Nothing behind you. Make everything get completed in front.
Back to throw. It's complete to Diggs. And now we won't see a play on first down. We're going to get a timeout instead as they stop it with 28 seconds to go in this football game.
Over.
Now Allen. And, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked off by Andre Howell. And they'll start with great field position at the 41-yard line. Down to a knee here as the Texans look to let the clock roll. A road win in the National Football League. Charles, you never take that for granted no matter who you're playing, no matter where you're playing.
You take it and you run with it. And you know you prime the pump all week in your own home facility. No one thinks we can do this. Only people who believe are right here in this room. And then you go on the road, band together, and get it done.
So for the Texans, they improved to 5-0 now on the young season. And they'll have another road date next week with the Cincinnati Bengals. Meanwhile, for the Vikings, the loss here will move them back to 500 at 3-3. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves next week at home against the Chicago